What's up, Roxstars? It's Rox, and I'm coming to you today with the 51st installment of Black Girls on Television. So, let's get to it, shall we? First up, the quad. So we see that the band director has been taken to the hospital, and when he finally becomes conscious, the first thing he sees is his abusive ass daddy standing over him. I said, what a way to wake up, right? Back at the school, we have Professor, I don't remember her name, Jasmine Guy. And she is giving a lecture, Bojan and Junior joking around, texting each other. So she says, oh, since you guys want to be disrespectful in my class, we're going to change up this syllabus. Y'all got an assignment now. You're going to conduct a social experiment. I said, like ATL Orgy? And this assignment is to introduce new culture at GAMU. Okay, so you guys have to highlight gender differences, and it has to be both boys and girls in this experiment. So Bojan and Junior get the idea that what they're going to do is see how people treat them when they know that they're having a threesome with Taisha. Taisha is the reporter girl. Okay, and it's just an experiment. You're not really sleeping with them. We're just going to see how everybody reacts to us. What is she going to get out of the deal? Well, if you do it, then Junior promises that she'll get an interview with each starting member of the team. And you already know how that's going to turn out. They pick up on the story with Moneybags, you know, Jason from the game. I don't know his name either. I'm sorry. I don't know why I don't know these people's name. I do know Eva. He goes to talk to her about some new donors, and she's open to that. What is the catch? He says the donors want to audit the books, and she says that's fine. They can look over the books, and then they can give me this butt. He says, good. Well, that was easy. How about dinner? You and me? Okay. Dinner on you? She agrees. Dinner on me. I said, oh, a budding romance. He looks like he's trouble, though. Now, back at the dorm with Cedric. Cedric and Bryce ain't been able to get back on track ever since Cedric got out of jail. Bryce is annoyed with him because he cannot find the remote. Remember, Bryce has a TV. It's falling behind Cedric's bed. You know, he gives it to Bryce, and then there's a knock at the door. And it happens to be Cedric's dead girlfriend's brother. He's come from Chicago because he tells Cedric that he knows who killed his sister. Some dude named Bones. And Cedric was like, you know what? She did tell me that she saw the person that killed somebody. I wonder if they followed her here to Atlanta. The brother was like, yeah, well, we're going to take care of this. You and me. I was just like, how you just going to include Cedric to the fuckery? But, yeah, he got this gun. He hands it to Cedric like, you down, right? Cedric kind of hesitates because he don't really want to do this. But he knows that he owes it to his girlfriend. At least that's what he thinks. So he takes the gun. I said, don't do it, Sadie boy. Now, back at the hospital, you know, Sis goes to see her brother. All right. And he's mad at her. Why did you bring Daddy to the game? And she was like, well, because he's part of this whole thing. He needed to hear. He was like, yeah, but the song was called My Sister's Blues, not My Sister and My Daddy's Damn Blues. And besides that, the fucking song was stolen. You know, the band director is just mad about all of this. But enough about that. When did you make up with Daddy? She said when he got sick and nobody else could take care of him. He's fussing at her about taking care of the daddy. And she was like, listen, you left us. You left me and mommy. And you went on your scholarships. And we were still getting our asses beat daily. You didn't never call or nothing. He said, yeah, I know. I feel bad about that. I think about it all the time. I can't sleep at night. Truth be told, it might be why he have cancer. You know, they say that cancer sometimes is caused just by stress and worry. It ain't been proven medically, but I sure do believe a little bit of that. Now back to this experiment. So, you know, Bojan and Junior and Taisha, they're in the cafeteria. They speaking real loud, talking about the hookup that they about to have that night. They had a script that was supposed to be written for everybody to overhear. Of course, the script gets thrown to the side and they start talking about all kind of outlandish shit, okay, about the stroke game and how this one ain't got it going on and what this one need to do, and everybody is listening, and next thing you know, it's all over social media. Everybody is talking about them. Taisha down with the swirl, and they all about to hook up, and it's about to go down, and they're calling them freaky friends. So right now, the experiment is going pretty good, except as they're watching social media and keeping track of everything that's going on, they realize that it goes from, you know, everybody laugh and have a good time about what the three of them are doing. It goes from Junior and Bojan kind of being the man, and Taisha being nasty, Taisha being a hoe. Okay, Taisha's loose, all right, calling her a prostitute, calling her all kind of names, all right. Of course, Taisha was not really wanting to be seen this way, especially if she ain't doing none of the shit. I was just like, Lord, I mean, anybody would know that that's what the result would be. But we just gonna play along and act like these college age kids didn't know that social media would attack them that way. So the experiment didn't quite go the way that they expected. But when they go back to class and they talk to the professor, and the professor says, yeah, I heard about you guys' experiment, freaky friends. That ought to tell you right there how women are treated differently than the men, because Bojan and Junior, like I said, were not affected. She was like, you guys should already know that. Look who we elected as the president. I said, girl, that's your president, not mine. But look who's the president of the United States. I mean, he out here grabbing whole pussies and everything, and it was accepted even by some women. So we still have a lot of change that needs to be made when it comes to gender differences and how women are looked at compared to how men are looked at. Now, jumping back over to Cedric. Cedric's not in his room right now. And Bryce gets back to the room, and of course he cannot find the fucking remote. Alright, you know what's next. He's looking for the remote, and where do you think the remote is? On the side of Cedric's bed. Also probably next to the gun that the girlfriend's brother gave to Cedric when he said he was going to set shit up. Okay, Bryce feels it and pulls it out and is just like, ain't this some bullshit? So when Cedric comes back to the room, Bryce has the gun just sitting on the bed, okay? I was like, he like my mama, you know, she ain't gonna say nothing, she gonna leave it there and see what the fuck you got to say. Cedric was like, what you doing in my shit? And Bryce was like, this is crazy, what the fuck are you doing? Why do you even have that gun? You about to get caught up in some shit that you don't need to be caught up in. Your ass is gonna go back to jail. Is that what you want? Cedric was like, man, you need to stay out of my business. Bryce said, you made it my business when you bought that shit here. I said, oh, look at Bryce. That nigga got a little hair on his chest. But I thought it was cool that Bryce stood up to him. He ain't no punk. He just misguided. He don't really know what's what altogether. Now, we also find out that there has been another girl that has come forward and said that she was raped by the quarterback. Okay, the rape culture, you know, the girl, the part of the organization, brings her to the president. And yes, we find out that there is yet another girl. So a little bit more ammunition for Sydney. Back to the band director, though. I was confused on this part. Maybe you guys can help me out. Young Jock is there with another gentleman, and the gentleman there is complaining about the fact that he didn't get the president's position. So I'm not sure who he was. At first I thought he was a director, you know, one of the people on the board of directors. They're gossiping about Eva and, you know, how she's dating this strip club owner. You know, it's just a whole bunch of bitches. I was thinking to myself, like, the band director with all the shit that he got going on, the last thing he should be doing is sitting up there talking about somebody else's fucking problems. But yeah, when they left, Young Jock is telling the guy that he needs to start making travel plans. I don't know how I just completely missed that whole part, but anybody out there want to just, y'all go on and let me know exactly what that whole conversation, that whole little scene, tell me what it was about. But anyway, back to Eva. She goes and tells Sydney that she has ammunition because another girl has come out and said that she was raped by the quarterback, and Sydney was like, oh, that's great, now I'm going back to campus. And Eva was like, you cannot go back there. And she's like, why not? She's like, I'm telling you, just let me fix this. And Sydney was like, if you could have fixed it, you would have done it by now. You can't fix this. Okay, so I guess Sydney is taking her life in her hands, out of her mother's hands, and she is going back to fight the quarterback again. That'll be next week. The coaches decided to retain a defense lawyer for the quarterback, and he doesn't understand why. I told you I wasn't guilty, and the coach was like, listen, it doesn't matter if you're guilty or not. You need representation. You know, the quarterback was like, I can't afford this, and he was like, don't you worry about that. I got that. Just tell her everything, okay? We're going to make sure that somebody is here for you. But it's funny how the coach is looking at him. I was like, Coach, you don't think that he did it, do you? Because he really giving him the eye, like, Now back at the dorms, you know, the brother comes to see Cedric again. He's not there, but Bryce is there. And Bryce got a whole mouthful to tell the brother. Why the fuck would you bring that gun here? Okay, your sister used to come up here and hang out with Cedric, and she was real proud of him and the shit that he was doing and the fact that he was out of Chicago. She wouldn't want this for him. Why would you do this? Why would you put that gun in his hand? Why would you ask him to do that? Cedric walks up at the time when they're talking, okay, and Cedric was just like, what's going on here? You know, they both don't really say too much. But Bryce is giving everybody the fucking eye. I said, look at him. He's trying to be Horde. Bryce is Horde. Now back to the band director. Sis goes to see him in the hospital. She's got some lobster tails for him. You know, she's trying to make right with this whole thing. They just can't seem to quite get it together. While she's in there talking to him, here come the fucking nurse. I was like, what the fuck? This this nurse is gonna get on my damn nerves, okay? Earlier she had interrupted their conversation. This time she interrupts the conversation again. Oh, Mr. Band Director, you cannot eat that. That is not in your diet. That will conflict with your medication. Okay, he was just like, okay, fine, I'm not gonna eat it. She didn't know. Okay, go on. Go. But this is when the sister finds out that he doesn't really have kidney problems, that he actually has lung cancer. All right, so this softens her heart a little bit. Nobody wants to see their sibling die. He was just like, don't worry about it. You know, they got this medication that they want me to take, but it's not necessarily sure if it's going to work. I don't even know if I'm going to get the real medication as opposed to the placebo. I ain't fucking with that. I'm just going to take the regular traditional medication so we can eat up. So they sit down and they kind of laughing together and eating, and I was like, well, finally, hopefully him and his sister can make some sort of amends. I don't know, is the mom still alive? Did they say that the mom died? Not sure. But this is the beginning of fixing that broken relationship. And then lastly, this setup. We already know what it's going to be. Cedric is supposed to meet the brother somewhere so they can go kill, what was the guy's name? I told you guys, Monster. Except Cedric is waiting and waiting and waiting behind a dumpster. It looks like a playground or something. And the brother doesn't show up. All right, but who does show up is the police. They flashing the light back there. You know, they feel like they might see something. Of course, Cedric is sweating bullets. He got this gun. He's got this hoodie. He's behind this dumpster. He's on this playground. It's the middle of the fucking night. Ain't looking good for you. All right, so they keep on flashing it. I was just like, boy, if you take your ass back to jail, it's a wrap. But our God is looking down on him, and they drive off. Okay, so Cedric is like, good. But he does send a text to his boy like, where are you? Okay, I'm ready to do this. But he's not really ready to do this. Like I said, the brother never shows up. He's walking down the street. The brother pulls up, you know, on the side of him. This reminded me of Boys in the Hood. Cedric was just like, where you been? Like, I was waiting, and he was just like, I took care of it. All right, you didn't need to come and be in none of that. Your roommate told me that my sis was real proud of you and she wouldn't want that for you, and he was right. So I wasn't sure, did Cedric give him the gun back? I sure hope he did. Didn't take that shit back to the campus, but you know, he gave him a little hug because Cedric is relieved that he didn't even have to go there. He did show some heart, keep his street credibility, but realized that he ain't supposed to be doing shit like this. So they part their ways. I guess the brother is going back to Chicago. Alright, and then on Greenleaf, you guys, so y'all know that Jacob and his family is moving. Lady Mae doesn't want them to go. She wants Bishop to talk to him. Just tell him who, you know, Basie Skanks is. Is it Basie Skanks? I do know these people's name. I wrote it down. Bishop was just like, I ain't fixing to beg the boy to do nothing. If it makes you feel better, I will talk to him, but I'm not going to beg him to stay. They're trying to figure out if Daryl, the one that burnt up in the fire, if he even had a son, because as far as they knew, he only had 2 daughters, but I always tell you guys that there are plenty of men in the South that have secret families kind of scattered all over the place, so he could very much be one of those type of men. But the other thing that got under the Bishop's skin is the fact that the baby been sickly around the house and crying all the damn time, and the daddy ain't there. Where the fuck is the baby daddy? Okay, well, the baby daddy's been staying in the hotel because their daughter, his wife, doesn't want to have anything to do with him right now. You know, she's still trying to deal with the fact that he believes that he may be gay. And you know, she got the googly eyes for old light skin. What's the boy name? The producer that's going to be helping her with her new music. I think his name is Jabari. Alright, I was like, he looked like a fucking Jabari. So, you know, sis ain't really paying much attention to it right now. Now, Jacob, he says that he's had enough living in that house. Yet and still, he still has to talk to, you know, Pastor Skanks and let him know that, you know, that shit wasn't cool the way he pulled the Triumph 2 church. Now, you guys, refresh me, because I don't think I ever remember seeing Rick Fox on season 1, but I might be wrong. So it was strange when he just showed up and talking about, you know, trying to get a story from her, because I guess he's a reporter from Gigi, and she was just like, I have no comment right now. I said, did I miss something? Was he on the show last season? Y'all remind me. But it doesn't look like he's trying to get a story out of her. He wants to go on a date with her. They make a cute couple. I was like, them both 2 good looking, real tall people. This is cute. She tells him she doesn't have any comment and she ain't going on no date with him. I said, girl, we gonna see about that. When she gets into her office, you know, her mom has left the dove on her desk. It's a crystal dove. That's her way of calling and telling her to come here. Gigi called it like a fucking leash or something. Anyway, she goes and she was like, what do you want, mother? And mother was just like, you need to fire Carlton. And she was like, because he's gay? And she was like, because The fact that he's here is, you know, we ain't getting no donations. You know, the deacons don't want to pay. Okay. The deaconess, what was her name? She doesn't want to pay. It's a problem. Gigi was like, I won't do it. She was like, if you don't do it, then I'm gonna do it. Gigi was like, Daddy, what do you think about this? And he was like, look, I can't lose a whole deacon board. It'll be easier to just get rid of him and we won't worry about it too much more. All right, so Gigi is just like, I can't believe it, but I will take care of it. So she goes and talks to her sister. All right, remember I told you the sister is wrapped up with Jabari. So when she goes in there, you know, she kind of looking, because they looking awful close while they singing, and feel me with your love, or whatever the song is. I was like, somebody told me that that's a whining, and I was like, yes, that's right. I knew she looked like somebody. She sings like them. They all have had this very certain kind of style, both Cece and now her. I don't know exactly how she's related to any of them, daughter or sister or niece or whatever, but she definitely has that same whining style. But anyway, Gigi pulls her away from Jabari and she tells her, you know, they're trying to fire Carlton, and she was just like, you know, why are they trying to do this? I promised him that this would not happen. This happened at the other church. And she was like, I know. And she was like, well, did you talk to Daddy? Daddy always listens to you. And she was like, Daddy was sitting right next to her. Okay. So she was just like, I need you to talk to them. You know, maybe they will listen to you. So Sis is happy about that Gigi included her. Because remember last season, she was just like, nobody ever tells her anything. Okay. So she's like, thanks for including me. So young Sis goes to talk to Lady May. And she was just like, Mom, I want to talk to you about, you know, getting rid of Carlton. It's just not fair because he's gay. And Lady May was like, I'm not getting rid of him because he's gay. This is purely a financial decision. And she was just like, oh, if it's financial, can we cut finances somewhere else? And she was like, well, let's see. We can get rid of Jabari. Oh, no. Don't touch Jabari, okay? It's just that I promised him that it wouldn't happen like this. And Lady May was like, girl, I'm sorry if you thought this was ever going to be a discussion. It's not, okay? Brother Man is going whether you like it or not. So, Sis, you know, she accepts what Lady May says. She gives up the fight. Now, jumping back over to Jacob. He said he wanted to go talk to Pastor Skanks about what happened. So he does, goes over to the church, and he says, I wanted to talk to you about Triumph too. And, you know, Skanks was like, boy, you should have seen your face on that stage. And he was like, how about you just give me a heads up when you're going to do something like that? And Skank said, well, if the Lord had told me ahead of time, I would have told you ahead of time. And he was like, oh, so you saying that just happened right on the spur of the moment? He said, that's exactly what happened. The Lord gave it to me, and that's what I said. He said, I find that hard to believe. He said, boy, let me tell you something. I was watching you when you was with your father, and he stomped you out like a weed, wouldn't let you grow. You didn't shine over there. And when I brought you over to where I am, you came alive, and everybody responded to you, and this is where you're supposed to be. I'm giving you your chance. So don't you ever doubt me and call me a liar. We saw that little slick part of him, that little evil side of him. I was like, Jacob, he might be little, but he look mighty. Be careful. So then he tells Jacob to go on and spread the word out in the neighborhood about Triumph to try to bring new church members over to the new location. Of course, when he goes knocking door to door, you know, this is a neighborhood where this huge church has been really big and everybody's been going to Calgary. You know, they of course all us like, we're not going to Triumph and you ought to be ashamed of yourself. Does Bishop know you out here doing this? Now, while Lady May and the Bishop are sitting down trying to go over stuff, her phone rings and it is Mac. He's telling her that the daddy is dying. She tells him, don't call no more. She don't want to hear from him ever again. Lose her number. But she tells Bishop that the daddy is going to die today. At least that's what Max says. So, you know, Bishop was like, do you want to go down there? She was like, that last time when I went and gave him a blowjob or jacked him off or whatever the hell she did, that was enough. Bishop goes down there and I guess he's doing like the last rites or something on the daddy. Prays over him and everything. And the daddy really looked like he was dying. I was like, he doing a good acting job, just laying there. His mouth was open and everything. Bishop tries to ask him, listen, did Daryl have a son? But while he's asking him, Mac walks in. So Bishop just walks away. Before he walks out the door, he tells Mac, listen, I know the Lord says that we're supposed to forgive each other, and I may do that one day, but I will never forget. Okay, so I'm going to leave you to your father until we both have to deal with ours. I said, oh, okay. He walked on out the door. The dad tells Mac that he didn't want to die. And Mac was like, oh, Daddy, don't you worry. It's going to be okay. It's going to be fine. It's going to be just like when you threw me in that lake. It's going to be cold. It's going to be scary. And you're going to swim. You're going to swim all the way to Jesus. I was like, now, is this good that he's swimming to Jesus? Because I didn't think that it was supposed to be scary and cold when we getting to see our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, okay? But that might just be me. Maybe I'm understanding it the wrong way. Now, jumping back over to the sister that just had the baby, you know, Kevin, that's her husband. He is frustrated because he gets absolutely no news about what's going on with her or the baby, okay? He goes to the church, and one of the assistants or the administration people goes and tells him, like, hey, you know, I got this salve or something that you can put on the baby because he's got a rash. And he was like, what rash? And he was like, the rash has been keeping him up all night. Okay, he's sort of like, thank you. But, you know, he's annoyed that he don't know nothing about what's going on. When we see him at his peer group, you know, discussing, you know, just what's going on with him and him thinking that he might be gay. Well, he's just listening to them talk. But after it's over, his counselor comes and asks him, hey, what's going on with you and your wife? And he was just like, I don't know. She don't tell me nothing. She don't want me to be involved in anything. You know, it's frustrating. And the counselor tells him, you know what? She probably just waiting for you to take the lead. Okay, be a man. Don't let her run you down and run you over like this. Back at the church, we see his wife. All right, she goes and tells Gigi, listen, I went and talked to mama. She said that we got to get rid of Carlton. That's what it is. I did what I could. I'm sorry. So it was like, don't fuck with Jabari. So Gigi don't know what to do. She calls Rick Fox and she tells him, hey, that date you asked me on, this is really not a date. I just want to sit down and talk to you. Okay. So then we get the very unrealistic picture. Maybe it is nowadays, but this was a little bit too much. Even in modern times, okay, we see Gigi and Rick Fox at like a, you know, kind of a speakeasy type of, you know, clubbish, you know, kind of neighborhood, you know, kind of hole in the wall, off the beaten path type of joint. And she's sitting there, she's drinking a beer, she is dancing. I'm thinking to myself, like most pastors, okay, because she is a pastor now. She is not just a minister on the board, okay? Most pastors are not going to do anything like this. They're going to keep that shit way more covert. So it was sort of unrealistic. But anyway, she's there, and you can just see that they have chemistry and they like each other. And they begin talking about Carlton and how she's going to have to fire him. And then she gets a call from her daughter, so she has to leave. But I'm thinking to myself, like, so this is what you wanted to talk to him about? The fact that you got to fire Carlton? Anyway, that's neither here nor there. What did you guys think about the scene with her and Rick Fox being in that club? Is it just me? Am I a little bit too traditional? Do I need to loosen up? Y'all let me know. Now, Lady Mae asked Bishop, did you talk to Jacob yet? And he was like, nope, and I'm sick of you. Okay, because Gigi always had the next line, you know, to be in the pastor of this church. But when she left, and you put it in Jacob's head that he was going to be next in line, you know, you the one that started all this mess, all this commotion. I'm sick of both of y'all. You jealous of Gigi. She denies it, of course, but we obviously know that she either is jealous of her or she really hates her. Now, Kevin, with this newfound energy given to him from his counselor, he goes and rushes over and talks to his wife. Listen here. I feel like I'm the only one being punished. I'm the only one trying to work this relationship out. I thought we was working on this. You acting like we not. You ain't told me nothing about the rash or anything. She says, you're right. I'm sorry. While they're talking, the baby starts crying and she was going to get him. He was like, no. You sit it down. I'm going to go take care of my baby. Later on, we see them talking out on the veranda, reminiscing about good times. The conversation is going so well that she tells him, you know what, you should spend the night, okay, and then you can wake up with your baby. And he's like, you sure about that? And she says yes. So maybe she has realized that she's tripping with this Jabari. I said, ooh, that Jabari gonna stick around and be a thorn in y'all's side. Now the bishop decides to be true to his word and go talk to Jacob, but of course the conversation doesn't go well. First question, he asked him, how is the new job? And Jacob was like, I don't want to hear anything you have to say about what I'm doing. Bishop says, your mama don't want you to leave. And he was like, yeah, but what do you want? Okay, of course Bishop doesn't answer that question. That's enough answer for Jacob though. Okay, while his wife is out looking at the new house that Triumph 2 is going to be putting him and his wife in. It's quite a bit smaller, quite a bit more humble than the house that they're used to being in. Jacob's wife ain't really feeling it, but you know, Skank's wife, okay, and she is quite the she's not hoochie. She's not hoochie at all. But she is just like one of your girlfriends, like your for real girlfriends that you go and hang out with at the club and drink all night with. Anyway, she is telling her, you guys are going to love it here. You're going to make it your own. But she don't love it there. She don't see how she can make this little tiny place. It actually was not bad. But comparing it to where they're coming from, she didn't know how she was going to make that shit her home. Okay, but of course when she goes back and talks to Jacob, Jacob's like, we getting the fuck out of here. I know you don't like the new place, but I promise you we can't stay here. All I want from my dad is for him to tell me that I did a good job. Okay, but everything's been GG. All right, and I'm sick of it, so we getting the fuck on. Okay, so I guess that's that. Now, Lady May is tired of waiting on Gigi to go on and fire this boy Carlton. Okay, so she does it herself. You know, she starts out with the regular, you know, we love that you here and thank you for everything you done. Okay, and then he was just like, oh, I see where this is going. Okay, she was just like, I'm sorry, you know, you got to go. It's financial reasons. He was like, oh, so, but no, what you're doing is firing me because I got married because you knew I was gay when you hired me. She says, nope. I'm not firing you because of that. I'm firing you because it's purely financial reasons. He was like, you know what? I don't believe you. You're lying. But I love you, and I'm going to pray for you and that broken spirit inside of you. Okay, thank you. And Lady May was like, whatever. Pray for whatever you want. She wasn't even worried about what he said. And then after she finishes with him, she goes and tells Gigi, since you couldn't do it yourself, I done already fired the boy. Life's too short. Got to move quick around here. So Gigi, of course, feels sick about what happened, and she goes and talks to Carlton at his house. Him and his husband are out there working on the car. She was just like, you know what? I'm sick about what happened. He was just like, I bet you are. Don't worry. I'm not going to sue you guys. He done already sued 2 other churches. She was just like, okay, but will you still come to the church? Okay, we can't make any changes unless you're there. But the last scene of the show is with Jacob and his wife leaving. Okay, they got the U-Haul truck packed and they are about to pull off for the last time. All right, all the family is standing on the stairs except for Bishop, but he does come out the door. Okay, and Jacob is looking at him. He's waiting for Bishop to say something like, don't go. That's all he looked like he had to say. And I think Jacob and his wife would stay. But Bishop just looks at him and then looks off. And that's enough answer for Jacob again. Him and his wife pull off. They pull through the gates of Greenleaf Estate. Then Jacob looks in the mirror. Can't believe that he's doing this. His wife gives him a touch of assurance. Baby, we gonna be okay. Without saying, baby, we gonna be okay. And he pulls off. Jacob and the wife have left the building. All right, you guys, and then Scandal. So let's see. We've had the feature episode on Cyrus, the feature episode on Jake, the feature episode on Eli Pope, now the feature episode on Hook. Hook is giving this girl boxing lessons. You know, he really does love this girl. You know, they're in there fighting and he's teaching her the ropes. And between all of that, you know, they hugged up on each other. It's all very hot sexual tension, you know. But underneath all of that, you can tell that he really loves her. But they get a visit from Quinn. Hook, where you been? Okay, we had to follow you here. Okay, Olivia is missing. We don't know where she is. So, you know, Hook and his precious Olivia cannot be missing. So we got to hop to it. Baby, I'll be back. But Olivia really ain't missing because Huck goes and pulls up to a little cafe on the side of a dark road, and she's there just as safe and as sound as can be. He's like, who did this to you? Where are they? She was just like, listen to me. I'm fine. I'm here by myself. I walked here. I need you to do me a favor though. Kill my daddy. I need you to do that. Of course, Huck is looking at her like, no. They go back to her office and he is still trying to convince her, I'm not doing that. She was just like, yes, you must do this. She's going on and on about Jake and how she saw Jennifer. Jennifer is still alive. That the daddy had made the girl leave a message. And that he is actually the one that killed Vargas so that he could steal the election. The daddy got a bigger plan and all that. You know, Liv is going on and on. I'm just going to myself. I have never realized how fucking annoying she is until this season. I mean, really, truly, this season, she gets on my fucking nerves. Like, shut up, Livia. Hook is trying to explain to her, like, no, that doesn't sound right. Something about this story is off. She's like, it's not off. My dad killed Vargas. You're the only one I can trust to do it. You know, he was just like, listen, if you really want me to do it, I will do it because you're Olivia and I have to do everything that you tell me to do. But you have to be 100% sure. Ain't no coming back from a bullet to the brain. She says, I'm 100% sure, do it. So, of course, now he's a soldier on a mission. And he gets his special shit together. He about to go and kill Eli. Just the sound of it sounds crazy. But anyway, he's following Eli. Eli's on a busy street. He got his silencer, his gun, and he follows him down into the subway. I'm thinking to myself, like, you have got to be crazy if you don't think that Eli ain't got eyes all over his fucking body. He already know you telling him. And sure enough, when he looks like he is going to follow him onto some train, then we see that Eli is actually behind him. Eli was like, you got 2 minutes to tell me why you here. Okay, let me guess. My daughter sent you to kill me because she thinks that I killed Vargas, right? And he was like, right. Did you kill him? He said, yeah, I killed him. But I didn't have no damn choice. They forced me to do it. Huck is like, nobody forces you to do it. And he was like, you're right, son. Nobody forces me to do anything. So that's why I'm telling you, this is somebody. They had me. I had absolutely no choice. And they threatened me. They told me that they would kill Liv if I didn't do it. So right now, what you're doing here, if you kill me, then they are going to kill her. If I don't show up at this meeting that's about to happen in 2 minutes, then Olivia is going to die, son. You have Olivia's life in your hands. Huck says, you lying. He says, no, I'm not lying. You know I'm not lying, because if you thought I was lying, you would have killed me by now. But let me tell you something before they get here. It's a chick with a ponytail and a red coat, and this other dude, they're going to be here. They're going to be looking for me. I got to be here. I got to talk to him. You're going to fuck it up if you kill me right now. Huck looks away for a second, and then poof, Eli is gone. All right, and then sure enough, they get off this train, and there is the girl with the ponytail and the red coat and the other dude. Okay, they're looking around. Huck is looking at them like, oh, God. Eli was telling the truth. They get on the elevator to go up, and then when Huck finally looks around, here's Eli again. Now you believe me? Look, I need you to go and find the traitor. There is a traitor amongst us. You got to find who it is from the inside. Huck doesn't want to have to investigate his gladiators, but he goes back to the office. He's looking at Quinn. He's looking at Charlie, and they're laughing and talking and everything. He was just like, So he goes home, and he's got on surveillance. He's listening to Charlie and Quinn talk. Okay, and there's a whole bunch of talk about nothing. There is one part when they actually talk about Meg, the girl that Huck is seeing. Quinn is laughing it off. You know, she's just another random psycho. Of course, Huck doesn't feel too good about that. That is his girl. But other than that, it ain't much talk. Once Charlie leaves the room, though, and Huck is listening to Quinn, he hears her on the phone, and she says, yeah, I'm alone. Did you find a place for Jennifer? That's all he needed to know. So he goes, I guess he tells Quinn to a hotel. And when he gets there, Jake and Jennifer is there, you know, and Quinn, you know, and they're trying to explain to him why they there, and Huck is telling them what Eli told him, okay, and how there's a double agent, and damn it, I think it's Quinn. He pulls the gun on Quinn. Quinn was just like, oh, you think I'm that double agent? I think you the double agent. So she pulls the gun on him. So they got their guns trained on each other. Jake says, wait a minute. You don't have any word on who this mole might be? And he says, yeah, all I got is that it's a woman. Other than that, I don't know. Jake says, well, you know what? She might be Sandra Potter. She and Eli used to be friends, and now she's fallen off the grid. So what we'll do is, don't nobody shoot nobody. We gonna track down Sandra, and then we gonna figure this whole thing out. But of course, now Quinn and Huck don't trust each other. Quinn goes back to the office with Huck, and she was like, you owe me an apology. He was like, why am I apologizing? I was doing my job. She was just like, oh, well, what about Meg, since you got your eye on all the fucking bitches around here? And he was just like, what about Meg? You mean the random psycho? She was like, you listening to me? He was like, I sure was. Okay, and she was just like, oh, so anyway, how about Meg might be just like Becky? And he was just like, she's not like Becky. And she was like, she might just be exactly like Becky. I was like, who the fuck is Becky? He goes back home, and Meg is there. He was just like, what the fuck are you doing here? She was just like, oh, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done this. I shouldn't have come here. I'm going too fast. I think that and he was like, no, baby, it's okay. I gave you a key. I just forgot. It's all good. You know, so they have sex on the floor of the surveillance room, hot and heavy. And then after they finish, and they're laying there all post-coital, Meg was just like, hey, what about Olivia? I said, uh-oh. Girl, that ain't what you want to say right now. He was like, what about her? And she was just like, you know, I just wonder if she could help with getting Jennifer's case solved, since nobody knows who killed Jennifer. He was just like, maybe. Okay, he's still listening, you know, he giving her the side eye like this, like, thinking about what Quinn had said. She was just like, I would like to talk to her personally myself. And he was just like, I'll have to see about setting that up. I said, Meg, girl, you about to die. So Huck goes to Abby, and he tells Abby, listen, I need security clearance. I need to go to prison and talk to this high security prisoner. And she was just like, look, I can't just be doing that. And he was like, Jennifer is alive, so I need to talk to this prisoner. Well, I'm thinking he's about to go talk to Cyrus or some damn body. And he goes and he sees Becky. I still don't remember Becky. Okay, but somewhere along these 6 seasons, she must have been there. But Becky evidently is a girlfriend who, you know, played over Huck. All right, so now he's there, and he's talking to her, and he's finding out, like, what did you do to trick me and get me to believe you? What did you do? How'd you get in my head? And she was just like, listen, if you want to know how I did that, then I need you to help me. I need you to find my dying sister. You know, she gave him this whole song and dance about how she missed her sister and she want to talk to her. He said, well, I will help you. And then she starts laughing. He was like, you did it again? She was just like, yeah, you are a sap. Let me guess, your new girlfriend, she's doing it to you now? And he was just like, no. And she was like, yeah, she is, but I bet you she's pitiful, huh? Weak, scared. That's the kind you always fall for. Of course, he keeps denying it, but he knows that this might be true. Meg probably got to him the same way that Becky did. So he rushes out of there. At least now he has his answer. I said, Meg, girl, you about to die. With all this new information, he calls Olivia and he tells her, you know what? Your dad killed Vargas for this lady named Sandra. I don't know the whole ins and outs of the story, but I promise you this was a woman that he was in love with, and he's different and he's changed. And Olivia was just like, absolutely not. He's a monster. Monsters don't change. He's been like this from the beginning of his time. And if you can't kill the motherfucker by the morning, then I'm gonna have to find somebody else to do it. She hangs up the phone on him, and he hangs up the phone. He's sitting in his car and he's tailing Meg, and he sees from across the way Meg sitting on a park bench talking to old ponytail with red coat. So now he's got his answer. Meg is a part of the other side. I said, Meg, girl, you about to die. So he goes back to the house, he calls her, hey, baby, how you doing? Okay, how was your day? Oh, really? I got a lot of good news, too. How about you come over here and celebrate? Olivia said she would talk to you. Okay, I got the syringe all ready and waiting. Meg get there, and again, he's trying to soften her up. Hey, how you doing? She's like, oh, I had a wonderful day. Da, 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 da. Okay, and then when she get over by the wall, he rushed over there with the syringe, and he was like, listen, I don't want to do this. Don't make me do it. Tell me who you working for. Of course, Meg is just like, what? I don't know what you're talking about. Wait. Why are you doing that? He was just like, tell me who you working for. And, again, she's a distressed white woman. I'm sorry, I don't know what you did. But if you look into my eyes, you'll see that I love you. You wouldn't do this, okay? But if you do this, then you are a monster. So he's looking in her eyes, and she's looking in his eyes, and he just puts the syringe down, and he says, go. And, of course, Meg runs out the room. I said, child, Hook, you sure this is what you wanted to do? I hope you're right about this. So Olivia finds Hook later that night while he's walking to his car, and she was like, listen, you should have told me that you was doing all this talking back and forth to everybody. So you think my dad was in love? Well, meet Sandra. Okay, Sandra is in the trunk, the mummified. Yeah, he killed her and he dumped her off in the B316 or whatever the fuck it was called, dump yard that they usually use to get rid of dead bodies. And to make a long story short, Olivia and Quinn and Charlie are trying to convince him that he's got the story completely wrong and that Eli is this evil person, and Huck was like, it's not true. People can change, even if they're as horrible as they are, they can change, they can find love, they can be happy, they can be with somebody. Okay, they don't always have to be this killer. You are the one that has the problem, Olivia, not me. You are the broken one. Forgive him and help him out. He needs your help. He doesn't need this from you. She just looked at him and she was just like, Quinn, go kill my daddy. Huck, get rid of the body. I said, bitch, you get rid of the fucking body. How you just gonna be ordering people around and when they didn't want to do it, okay? But of course, Huck, always having to listen to Olivia, he takes the damn body. He's going to go dig a grave and get rid of the body. But right before he's getting rid of the body, I guess this is the old B316 move, just in case, He checks behind her ear, cuts a little piece behind her ear, and he finds a little chip. Takes the chip back to his surveillance room, and sure enough, it is the surveillance tape of all the shit that went down in the research room, when Eli find out about the people following them, they killing the white man, and then Eli killing Sandra because they was threatening Olivia. When he shot Sandra, Olivia was just like, oh, bitch, I keep telling you that this is some heavy shit here. This is way more than above your pay grade. You don't know shit about what's going on here. I wish you would trust your father one time. So anyway, after the video is over, she just turns around and looks at Huck, and then she walks off, calls on the phone, and tells Quinn, you know what, forget it. Okay, call off the mission. Then, because we gotta fix this problem that Huck got with Meg, she goes with Huck over to Meg's house, and Huck he's a wounded child in the back. He's sorry. Olivia is trying to tell her, listen, we sorry about what happened. We was just playing. Meg was like, don't come in here. That motherfucker's crazy. The police say he don't even exist. And she was just like, listen, he done did some shit in his time, but he's changed. He's a better person right now. He love you and whatnots. Please forgive him, or at least help him forgive himself. Next thing we see, Huck and Meg going to go see Jennifer. I said, this is bad. As soon as Huck opens the door where Jennifer is, and Meg walks in, Jennifer is just like, Meg. Okay, this is her best friend, her B-fry, remember? Meg pull out a gun with a silencer on her, and she shoots her. Pow, pow, pow. Through the head, through the round, up in here somewhere. And then we immediately see Meg talking with a ponytail red jacket in some little area, and Abby walks up, and Meg tells her, you know what, Jennifer is dead. You won't have to worry about it anymore. Okay, and then Abby says, okay, thank you, and what about Huck? And that's when it flashes back to the scene after Jennifer just got killed. And then Meg turns the gun on Huck and she shoots him 3 times in the right. I said, oh my God. Y'all, we've been sleeping so much on Scandla that we did not even know that a motherfucker was going to get killed. But he might not be killed. Okay, we saw him now. It looked like he dead to me because he got shot and he's bleeding out terribly on the ground. But we have to remember that they know where Huck is and Jennifer is, and something tells me because she didn't shoot the nigga in his head, okay, and make sure that that brain was dead, and it didn't even really look like he was shot in the heart. Something tells me that Huck might not be dead and Huck probably will survive this. But man, I was shocked. I said, ooh! Shonda, I didn't know this is what you was fixing to do to us today. Y'all, Scandal is good this season. Y'all better stop tripping and get with it, especially since Olivia is not the main focus. I'm loving it this season. All right, you guys, that's it. I got to get ready for the birthday celebrations of my children this weekend. So y'all wish me luck. It is going to be a whole lot. If you follow me on Snapchat, itsrox on the Snap, I probably will snap this weekend. Okay, I know I don't do it often. People always tell me that I'm full of shit. I know, y'all, but I'm gonna do better. I'm gonna do better. Anyway, y'all, let me get off of here. Make sure you rate, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I'm itsrox. The channel is for itsrox. Everything else I do will be in the bottom bar. All right. So I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day. I plan on doing the same. Till next time, Roxstars. Bye.